Good morning, everybody. Um, Welcome back. I hope all of you are doing well. Stay at home, stay healthy, keep learning. Today, we're going to begin with the next chapter, children, chapter 8. According to my book, it's on page number 7.43. Now, I would again want each one of you to make your running notes, because without making running notes, probably you will not be able to understand. Now, in this particular chapter, it's a very interesting part of the unit. We're going to understand how does an economy be in equilibrium. The word equilibrium, as you all know, is a state of rest. It is a state where aggregate demand for all goods and services is equal to aggregate supply in a given period of time. Now, when I say during a period of time, it means that fiscal year, that financial year, right? So, when aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, during a period of time, equilibrium is obtained. We are very well versed with what is aggregate supply and what is aggregate demand by now. I am sure you've done all the numericals, solved, unsolved of the chapter number 7. Now, aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. Aggregate demand, as we know, is C plus I, and aggregate supply, which is nothing but equal to income, is C plus S. In order to understand equilibrium, children, there are two approaches laid down by Keynes, and in his two approaches he says the first approach is when aggregate demand equals to aggregate supply. The second he says is when S is equal to I. If you look at that equation there, C plus S is equal to C plus I. If you strike off the C on both the sides, you get S is equal to I. So equilibrium can be obtained in two conditions or using two approaches. One, when aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, and second, when savings is equal to investment. So there are two approaches, so to say. According to Keynes, you need to understand whenever we are trying to come to a conclusion or we're trying to understand a theory, there are some assumptions which you have to take. The first assumption is that we're taking only two sectors. What are the two sectors? Households and the firms. The second assumption we take is we assume investment expenditure to be autonomous. Autonomous मतलब हम इसे constant लेंगे. We assume the price level to remain constant. Prices are not fluctuating in the economy, and this is only a short-run concept. In the long run, obviously, factors will change, the sectors will change, and everything will change. Now, if we have to understand one approach at a time, we are first going to understand the ADAS approach. इसको C plus I approach भी कहते हैं. वहाँ मैंने marking अच्छे से की हुई है. इस approach में we need to understand that we are taking two basic sectors, the consumption, that is the households, and the investment, which is the firms, or investment done in an economy in totality. It may be by the government, it may be by the households, in totality the investment. इसलिए हम इसे कहते हैं AD is equal to C plus I. Right? Now, AS is nothing but the national income which is generated in an economy. Consumption, children, is having a direct relation with income. जैसे जैसे income बढ़ेगी, consumption भी बढ़ेगी, हम discuss कर चुके हैं. Investment को हमने autonomous रखा है, मतलब constant रखा है. और जो AS है, वो तुम्हारी income है, वो तुम्हारा 45 degrees line का curve रहेगा. I'm going to explain shortly. उसके बाद let's look at the schedule. इस schedule में हमें क्या समझ आता है? If you look at the schedule carefully, first we are taking the income in an economy which increases, taking 100 as the increase. Consumption, which is also increasing. You have this which is known as autonomous consumption. उसके बाद consumption is increasing at a constant rate which is 0.8, 80%. We have assumed investment to be constant, 40. So what is your aggregate demand? Aggregate demand is aggregate demand is C plus I, 40 plus 40, 80. Again, what is the income generated here? 0, because income is always equal to this, C plus S. What is your C? 40. What is your S? Minus 40. So it is 0. Look at the second state. Second state is C is your 120, investment is 40. Your aggregate demand is 160. Again, what is your aggregate supply? It is 120 minus 20, 100. So your aggregate supply is nothing but the income of the economy. तुम्हें याद है हमने किया था C is greater than Y initially. क्यों? क्योंकि खर्चा तो होगा ही होगा, चाहे आमदनी ज्यादा हो या कम हो या ना भी हो. ऐसे ही अगर तुम्हारा खर्चा ज्यादा है इनिशियली, तुम्हारा एग्रीगेट डिमांड भी ज्यादा है एज कंपेयर टू द एग्रीगेट सप्लाई या इनकम विच इज अर्नड इन एन इकोनॉमी. इस स्केड्यूल को साथ में रखना while I'm going to be explaining to you the diagram. The diagram is very, very important, children. You need to pay all attention to the diagram. Now, if you look at the diagram on page number 8.3, right? You see this is your aggregate demand, this is your income output, which is nothing but aggregate supply. ये जो curve है 45 degrees line, this is your aggregate supply, जिसको हम income भी कहते हैं. If you look at this, this is your aggregate demand curve. You very well know why aggregate demand is starting from M, because this, at M there is autonomous aggregate demand. What is autonomous aggregate demand? It is aggregate demand which has autonomous consumption, which has autonomous investment also, right? जैसे जैसे तुम्हारी इनकम बढ़ रही है तुम देख सकते हो तुम्हारी aggregate demand भी बढ़ेगी. So aggregate demand curve तुम्हारा upward sloping रहेगा. Right? Now, if you look at this particular diagram, इसमें तीन चीजें तुम्हें याद रखनी है मेरे हिसाब से 1, 2 and 3. मैं हमेशा ऐसे समझाती हूँ. What happens at 2? 2 is the point where aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. इस point को हम equilibrium भी कहते हैं. इस point को equilibrium क्यों कहते हैं? क्योंकि aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. एक बात याद रखना, aggregate supply की तो कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं है. As far as your resources are concerned, जितने तुम्हारे पास है you are ready to supply, right? You are ready to supply. लेकिन equilibrium तब होगा जब तुम्हारे पास aggregate demand भी होगी. So that aggregate demand, right, at equilibrium where it is equal to aggregate supply is called effective aggregate demand. ये बहुत अच्छे से इसका definition यहाँ दिया हुआ है. I repeat, that aggregate demand which is equal to aggregate supply at equilibrium, right, is called effective aggregate demand. एक फर्म है, आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग एट अ माइक्रो एग्जांपल, दिस इज वैसे लेना नहीं चाहिए क्योंकि हम मैक्रो पढ़ रहे हैं. एक फर्म है वो 1000 यूनिट सप्लाई कर सकती है, लेकिन उसकी उस प्रोडक्ट की डिमांड सिर्फ 800 है, तो वो 1000 बनाकर क्यों बेचेगी? वो 800 ही बनाएगा. 800 क्यों बना रहा है? क्योंकि इक्विलिब्रियम 800 पर आएगा. सो दैट डिमांड इज कॉल्ड द इफेक्टिव डिमांड. ये इस बार 2020 में 1 नंबर का बोर्ड क्वेश्चन था. चिल्ड्रन, हर चीज बुक में है, बारीकी से पढ़ोगे एक एक लाइन, एवरीथिंग इज अवेलेबल टू यू, राइट? नाउ दिस इज पॉइंट नंबर 2. लेकिन तुम्हें क्या लगता है हर इकोनॉमी में ऐसे इक्विलिब्रियम ऑब्टेन हो जाता है? नो, देयर आर डिसइक्विलिब्रियम सिचुएशंस. व्हाट आर द डिसइक्विलिब्रियम सिचुएशंस? वन, व्हेन एग्रीगेट डिमांड is, can you all see what I'm writing subsequently? When aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply, or when aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply. Now children, what happens in an economy when the aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply? I know the diagram is looking quite like this, but then you guys will understand this very well, because as I was explaining, I was writing it for you also. So you guys will understand it very well. You're used to this particular methodology. Now, when aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply, it means the firms and households are spending less. Maybe they've started more, saving more. They're spending less as compared to what is being produced. When they're spending less, what happens to the inventory level in the economy? The desired inventory बढ़ जाएगी. जैसे डिजायर्ड इन्वेंट्री बढ़ गई तो प्राइसेस क्या हो जाएंगे? दे विल रिड्यूस फॉर अ वेरी शॉर्ट पीरियड. जैसे प्राइसेस रिड्यूस हो जाएंगे और स्टॉक बहुत सारा पड़ा है, फर्म्स विल नॉट कंटिन्यू टू प्रोड्यूस, क्योंकि फर्म्स की फिर लॉसेस विल स्टार्ट. सो द फर्म्स विल डिक्रीज देयर इन्वेस्टमेंट. जैसे इन्वेस्टमेंट कम होगी, व्हाट विल हैपन टू द आउटपुट इन एन इकोनॉमी? इट विल डिक्रीज. जैसे आउटपुट कम होगी, एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज विल डिक्रीज. जैसे एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज डिक्रीज होगी एंड आउटपुट कम होगी, द फर्म you'll get back to this particular situation of equilibrium. Aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. I repeat, when aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply, it means firms and households are spending less. When they're spending less, it means the unplanned inventory, undesired inventory will increase. जैसे इन्वेंट्री बढ़ जाएगी, द प्राइसेस फॉर अ वेरी शॉर्ट पीरियड विल फॉल. जैसे प्राइसेस फॉल होने शुरू हो जाएंगे, द फर्म्स विल स्टार्ट रिड्यूसिंग देयर इन्वेस्टमेंट. जैसे इन्वेस्टमेंट कम होगी प्रोडक्शन कम हो जाएगी, प्रोडक्शन कम होगी एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज कम होंगी, नेशनल इनकम कम हो जाएगी, एंड ऑल दिस विल हैपन जब तक इक्विलिब्रियम हम दोबारा पहुंच जाते हैं। और वो कहां पहुंच गए? जब तक AD is equal to AS. Children, whatever I told you right now, explained to you by this particular diagram, everything is given here on page number 8.3 very nicely, and I have marked it very well for you. If you can see here, it is a situation where AD is greater than AS. This is a situation when AD is less than AS. Whatever I said is given here line by line, word by word in this particular book. Now children, I am going to be explaining these two disequilibrium situations. What are the two disequilibrium situations? When aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply and when aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply. I want you to follow this very carefully because जो second approach है, अगर ये समझ आ गई वो automatically समझ आ जाएगी. Now what do you mean by aggregate demand here? Again means the planned spending. Economy में कितनी spending हो रही है? Aggregate supply मतलब planned output. I repeat, aggregate demand means planned spending and aggregate supply means planned output, right? Now when aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply, which means the planned output, planned spending is more than planned output. It means households and firms are spending more. If households and firms are spending more, it means जो inventory level है, right? I repeat, जो inventory level है, planned inventory, वो कम हो जा रही है. क्यों कम हो जा रही है? जैसे जैसे प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है वैसे वैसे बिकी जा रहा है, right? What happens because of this? Prices in an economy will rise. When prices rise, firms will not keep quiet. Firms को लग रहा है भाई हमारे प्रोडक्ट की डिमांड ज्यादा है, लोग खर्चा कर रहे हैं and output उतनी है नहीं. What will the firms do? The firms will increase their investment. जैसे वो investment बढ़ाएंगे, what happens to the output? It will increase. When the output increases, right, employment opportunities in an economy will increase. ये सब कुछ तब तक होगा जब तक equilibrium पहुंच जाते हैं. I repeat, when aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply, it means planned spending is more than planned output. It means firms and households together are willing to spend more. So what happens here? They're planning to buy more. So what happens here? The inventory level, planned inventory will decrease, right? Because planned inventory will decrease, prices will increase. When prices will increase, we assume the prices to be constant, but they may increase in the short run. Firms will start investing more. जैसे फर्म्स इन्वेस्ट ज्यादा करेगी, आउटपुट और प्रोडक्शन बढ़ जाएगी. जैसे प्रोडक्शन बढ़नी शुरू होगी, एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज बढ़ जाएंगी. ये सब कुछ तब तक होगा जब तक हम इक्विलिब्रियम तक पहुंचते हैं.